You see, I'm already live with uh, StreamYard, so I don't know if I'm live on YouTube and Facebook. Tell somebody else. I see it's one person watching. Am I live on YouTube or Facebook? All right. Anyway, we were having this discussion earlier today about on VRA, and it was you guys I was having a conversation with about modes. Guitar players advice. Aha! I got another one. Somebody wants to talk about the 7 scales. Let's see. Let's see. Apparently, I'm live on YouTube. Anyway, we're going to have a talk about the 7 scales. Not too many people teach the 7 scale, and I don't know why. I learned it many years ago. Okay, 1982, if you must know. I don't know if this thing is working. This is my first time. So, I don't know if I went live on Facebook. I'm using StreamYard. StreamYard. Hey, Jeff Howard. What's up? Hey, Randy, I can see you on Facebook. Oh, good. I'm alive. Okay. So StreamYard must be working. Okay. All right. So anyway, I put together something because we've been having this discussion all day. And I think it's, well, I find it fascinating. So I put together something. Let me turn off Billy Strings. This guy's good. I love Billy Strings. If I can remember where he's at. Nope, that's not him. There he is. No, I don't want to turn one of you guys off. Not there. There he is. All right. So let me hold on a second. Oh, there he is. Okay. Billy Strings. Okay, great. I love Billy Strings. Anyway, we're going to have a little discussion. I threw this little impromptu thing together. I went live last Sunday, but no one watched. So let me get back on this. Okay, hey, there's Jeff. I don't know if I get the chat from YouTube. I see YouTube right there. I got to change the channel, but no one's talking to me there. I doubt if anybody. I only got 4 followers. You know, so 4. Anyway, but this is cool. StreamYard's working. That's great. Thanks, Jeff. Hey, dude. Locrian. You know who discovered the Locrian mode? It was I believe it was Paganini. How is this reflection on that circular light there? I mean, I could turn it. I don't know. Is that better? No, you can still see it. Oh, it looks like a flying saucer now. It's all good, man. We're new. Great excuse, huh? All right, so I'm going to try to get this bigger here on the screen. This piece of paper right here was put on after I put on my 7 scale, because no one teaches the 7 scale really. And so I'm like, hey, what about this scale? It's my favorite. There's number 1 on the 7 scale right there. Let's see if I can get them all up there. There they are. And I actually put the modes, with each one that applies to each one. And that's why I like the 7 scale. First of all, there's 3 notes on every string. That's for alternate picking. It's the best. Although there's other cool stuff, as long as there's 3 notes. So then, after I posted this, and I just went there, and there, some people were still talking about it. But I'll just post this later after I explain it. You see, here's the important part right here. This is, I'm going to blow this up so it gets all fuzzy, but it'll be easier to read. Okay, look. Modes provide expressive way. That's not the played, the basic C major scale, but starting and ending on a different note, the root. Okay, so basically the mode depends on the scale that you use from root to root. That's what matters. That's what it just said. So this little shape right here really doesn't matter. This shape right here doesn't matter. And I'm going to show you what matters. You see these 7 scales right here? These 7 scales. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can. Is that in the way? All right. Is the audio good? Get this fancy little gold microphone. So I have to at least let the gold part dip down into the picture. Okay, so you see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And the beautiful thing about the 7 scale is they represent each mode. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. Now, within each scale is all 7 modes. Why is that? Because it only matters when you're playing from root to root of that mode. In other words, in that chord, or whatever you want, whatever you're playing. So that's why I like the 7 scale, because if you notice, if we start right here, wait a minute, I got an idea. Hold on. There you go. Here's number 1. Can you see that? See this big shiny ring of light? That's what I see. All right, let me see if I can zoom in. That'll be, oh, look at that. Now we're getting fancy. All right, there's number 1. So if this is the number 1, and it's the Ionian mode, if you play from this root, which is actually on the key, but I don't want you to care about the keys. The shape of the 7 scales don't change. They're in all 12 keys. They're exactly the same. So it'd be better if you looked at these as numbers. 1. This is number 1. You whatever note you put that on, that's the key you're in. Right here, we're in the key of G. So if you play 1, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, you just played the Ionian mode. Well, wait a minute. What if I start here and I play from here to here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, you just played A minor in the Dorian mode. So in any key, you basically have 3 major chords. Although the 5th degree is Mixolydian, it's still major because the 3rd is not flat, but the 7th is. But anyway, but you also have 4 minor chords. So, I mean, the Locrian is minor. It's a minor 7 flat 5, but it's still minor. So you still have 4 minor chords in any key, and they never change as long as you put the root on whatever key that is. That's why it's great to look at it in the form of numbers, and that's an easier way to transpose too. If you're going to transpose a song, say in the key of G, and so you write the numbers down. Well, usually we play 1, 4, 5, so we don't have to worry about it. But say you get a nice little jazz tune, changes keys and all that, and you go through the chords and you write the numbers. Now you take those numbers, you move them to any key, and you can just chart that thing so easy. It's so easy to do like that. So when you're thinking of a key, you should think 1 major, 2 minor, 2 minor, 3 major. What I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Major, minor, minor, major, dominant 7, minor, minor 7, flat 5. It never changes. So no matter where you put this number 1 right here, no matter where you put that, if you got those 7 scales memorized, you just shift that in your brain. You just shift it to that key, and you know the whole neck. And the cool thing is, inside of these, each of the seven scales, there's 4 triad stacks. So if you look at this right here is a B, G, A, B. The 3rd right here is flat. There's a flat 3rd, so it's minor. And the 1, 3, 5. There's a B minor. There's a B minor chord right there. So you do the same thing right here. Bam. There's a E, E minor, right? And if you look, you play an E minor, you can start to see the patterns right here for an E minor chord. These right here, and then if you go here, right here, 1, 3, 5. Those 3 notes. There's the 3rd triad stack, and then if you play these 3 notes, is the 4th. And so let me show you something here. Oh, I didn't bring a pick. I don't need one. So okay, so there's number 1. So the triad stack is boom, boom, boom. So then if I jump up to here and come down to here and then down to there, it sounds like. Now I can do it this one, like the same way. And then this one right here, you go right here, there. And then the last one. So if you put them together, you know it's happening. I don't have my pick. Nice, huh? And you get that on all 7. All right, hold on. Let me go get a pick. don't have a pick. I remembered everything except a pick. Hold on. Uh-oh. All right. Here. And the triad stacks. So you have 4 triad stacks inside of each of the 7 scales. That means 7 times 4 is 24, right? 28. 28. Okay. Right. Okay, so 28 triad stacks inside the 7 scale. And, earlier we asked, you typed in Locrian. Well, it was Paganini that I believe discovered the Locrian mode. It's not that he invented it was already there. But he kind of discovered it. And these mode names come from Greek mythology, I believe. I'm not exactly sure what they meant in the Greek mythology. But let's move on. Because I have a few interesting things to show you. So let's get rid of this. All right, let's get rid of this. All right, let's get rid of this. And let's see if I can find what. Now this is in the key of G, all the notes. And I made this myself. You just can't find this good stuff. So here's the thing. What I want to talk about right now is the caged system. Now, I never called it the caged system. When I first learned it, it was from, I believe, Paul Gilbert in 1982. Hand wrote some stuff. And basically he was telling me, he says, the chord shapes, the pentatonics, fit 5 chord shapes, and each one matches 1 through 5, the 1 through 5 major pentatonics. And the way I was shown was E first. And the whole idea of the pentatonics was, or learning it with E. Whoop. Okay. Get back in there. Here we go. I pushed the wrong button. I wanted to go. Okay, that's in, that's out. Okay, woohoo! We're having fun now. Whoa! It's like a roller coaster ride. All right. So here's the thing. I don't know if I have, if I can call up my other throat. I want to show you something really cool. Don't tell nobody. Keep it a secret. Okay. All right. Nope. Here we go. This Libra kind of takes a minute to upload. Okay, this is interesting, okay? I always started from the E. Of course, the cage system means C, A, G, E, D. That's because they started on the root on the fifth, on the C chord. And that's kind of cool. But if you look at it from the, you can still use it for the same thing. The very first thing that you want to use it for is spotting roots and knowing where you're at on the neck. See, because if you look right here, this is your E chord right here. And that's a major pentatonic, right? Now, if you come over here and you look at the minor pentatonic, you see the roots are in the same place, right? So we call this the E form. That's what I call it, the E form. So in the E form, you know that the roots don't change. The roots are the same. And this is true for all of them. The reason that I do the A, I start with E first, is because basically E's down at the bottom of the neck, right? So if somebody said to me, play 5 E chords, I start with E, and then I do a D, right here, and that's on the, I think that says, well, 5th, 7th fret is the, where the, is that right? That's not right. No, it's not right. This would be the 3rd fret. No, this would be the bottom of the guitar right here. This is in a different key, but still the same thing. Basically, when you're playing the E chord, or whatever chord you're playing, you target this note with your mind. You target that, and you visualize this shape right here before you do it. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm targeting this note, and I'm getting ready to play this chord. Now I'm targeting this note, and I'm getting ready to play this chord. Now I'm targeting this note, and I'm getting ready to play the next one, which is A. I'm targeting this root. You see, whatever one you're playing, you're targeting the root on this side for the next chord up, right? The next chord up would be a G form. And then when I look at these two roots, I know it's back to the E form. So basically, that's why I did it at first, was to there it goes. Okay, say, oh, I could play Sparta note. Pick a note, and I'll play every note of that one note, like E. Wait. So I'll play the first form. Then I go to the second form. Then I go to the next form. Then I go to the next form. Then I go to the next form. Next form. Next one. Next one. Next one. So that was like every E. So you can, once you get the stacking those forms, whether you use the C, A, G, E, D system or the E, D, E, D, C, A, E, D, C, A, G system, but I haven't come up with a good acronym for that. I like doing the E because a lot of times you know where you're at here, and usually you're going to a 1 or a 4 or a 5. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, because wait till you see what I've got planned later on. Let me ask you a question. If you could play a 1, 4, 5 like this, let's say G, C, D, and you don't, let's lose this. Now, when you're looking at this right here, you need to start visualizing the chords that are in here. So if this is the key of G, you know that the first shape is right here, right? And then that D on the way up is this little triangle there. And then that makes the C right there. And then the A. And then the G. Now, the reason I put this up here was so that it's real simple. When you if I said, well, let's play a G9, what's the 9 chord? Well, that's why I put this up here, so you understand why is it called a 9 and 11 and 13, because it's 9. It's an interval from the root. This is the 9th interval from the G, even though it's also a second or a 9. The C is an 11th interval from the root. So when you start getting up into the other chords, you just shift all those numbers down. But that's a whole nother lesson, and it's a good one. And it's like when you see how I explain theory, I've had people say, even if they don't even like music, they don't even listen to it, they know how to play, but they sure understand what I'm talking about when I explain theory, because it's easy. It's easy to understand. I mean, too many people make it complicated. It's really simple. So I have a way to draw it out, to show you exactly. And what we're going to do is we're going to build chords diatonically, all the diatonic chords. So we take these 7 notes in any key. You take these 7 notes and you build 35 chords. I think 35. So, right. So here, check this out. I made these pink little dots that I can move. All right, so what I can do is go like this. Oh, no, it didn't grab it. Oh, wait, I think I have to grab that, and then, bam, got it. So I can go, there's a root. Come on, pink dot. Oh, wait, no, that's not a root. That's a root if you're Locrian. That's the beginning of the Locrian scale, right there, Locrian mode. Okay, let's get up to the Ionian mode right there. Yeah, they thought Paganini was possessed by Satan. Maybe that's why I called it Locrian, because it's kind of similar to Lucifer. Locrian, Lucifer, I don't know. But, okay, so there's the root of the E, right? So, but then, here, let's set this one off, and then grab this one, and go, boom. Right there's the root of the D. See the little triangle? And you play these 2 notes, and you play that triangle. And you're playing a G chord. This is 5 different G's. So then, you target this, you look at that, and then you lay your finger across these 3, and you do the C form. Bam, there's the root, G and G. And you see that little note there? C, this one, and that one. Now, you target this one, and you see the A form right there, right? So you're playing another G chord. G chord, bam, you got it, boom. And you can grab that anywhere once you know how to do this. And then it's a really kind of a stretch, but you do that G shape. You bar that one line, you do this G shape right there. Bar all this, these three. Bar that, put a finger there, and there, and there. Oops. Okay. Right. All right, let me put my dots down here. Come on, dot. I had to make them hot pink so it'd be easy to see. Okay, so here's the thing. If you could play a chord in 5 different places, why can't you play a progression? Of course you can. You can play the same 3 chords in 5 different places. And we'll start with the G right here. And then we go to the C. Now, instead of sliding up like that, what you're going to do is make that bam, C form. Okay, so there's the first position. So now we go to the D. I mean, that's our G. So we go like this. The D form, the G form, and of course you could play the G form. Let me do the next one, okay? This is going to be the roots of the next one up, right? So you got this D shape, the D form. Now what you're going to play, the next one is the C chord, right? So let me go grab another one. The C, of course, is on the 8th fret. So what you're going to play next, after this D form, is this little chord right here. You could play this. If you can do this, that's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool chord, because you got this note right here. And you can even hammer on this little thing right there, Then you do the little. Here's the full thing like this. Of course, it's in the G form, which is when you play this one down here, it's kind of hard to play this one. So you end up playing this one and this one. But you don't need to play that note or this one. You could just play those 4, So we got the G chord. Then we go to the C chord. Now we're going to go to the D chord. So we know that the D, there's the root right there, right? G, C, D. So then the chord would be what form? The A form. Whoa! I moved the wrong thing. Bam. There you go. So the D chord in the A form. So I don't know. I could write this down, just so I could post it on. I can post this on Google Docs. It's not there yet. Maybe some of it is. I don't know. I did make a document that's available for everybody. But if I'm going to go ahead and number this, the first one is the G, and we're going to call these forms, not caged. Call them forms, because this doesn't change no matter what key you're in. So the first form, because we're going to call it the number one form, because it matches the first chord, matches the number one pentatonic. The number one pentatonic matches the number one chord. Does that make sense? Yes. So why would you learn it any other way? I don't know. Be more confused. It's not like you're not. I mean, I'm not going to say you're not confused, but I'm confused all the time. Okay, so G, C, and D, which is cool because those are the three chords we're doing. In the first place, you actually have the G in the E form. I'm going to put chords because they're all the same three chords in 5 different places. That's why you got to keep reminding yourself. The E form, the A form, the C form, right? That was the first one. Now, the second one is the D form, and then the G form, and then the A form, right? That's number 2. Number 2. And so that sounds like this right here. So there's a G, right? And here's the chord C, but we're in the G form, right? And then the D chord, but we're doing the A form, right? And go back to the D form. Beautiful. All right. Moving on up. As I would say, move on up to the east side. All right. So now we're moving on up to the third 1-4-5. The third 1-4-5, because we go E, D, C, we know that the third one's going to start in the C form. And the C form matches the third major pentatonic. That's the number 3 pentatonic. That's why I like doing this. So, well, we're playing the G chord. Remember, we're not playing a C, we're playing a G chord. So, it's going to be right on the 10th fret. We got the G note right here. Now, you see that little C shape? Bam! There it is. This little triangle and those notes right there. I'll put it in there. Okay? This is the chord you're playing. It is a G chord. In what form? The C form. Does anybody else teach this? No, I don't think so. Who else does a 1-4-5 in the same position? But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because, check this out. With each change of the chord, you know that each shape is related to a pentatonic, right? So, let's get through this first. So, we've got the G chord in the third position. We've got the G chord in the C form, right? Bam, right here. So, G, the next chord is C. And where are we at? We're up on the 8th fret. So what do you think? The E form. How easy is that? The next chord is D. And where are we at? Well, this is a D right here. And if I have my little finger on the little string, it must be the G form, right? Now, here's the deal. Let's say I'm playing a little solo or whatever. To keep things right in my mind and change with the keys, wouldn't I change the pentatonic if the chord changes? Let's see what that's like. So we're playing a... So we'll do the pentatonics for each one. And then we go to the E. We're already on the D note right there. So what is that? Let me write that down. That is the third position, same three chords, G, C, D, third position, started with a C form. It transitioned to the 4 because we're talking about a 1-4-5 progression, right? It transitioned to the E form. So we went from C form to the E form, right? Even though it's the E form, we know we were playing a C chord. And then it went from E form to a G form. And that's the third position. All right. Now, the fourth position. The fourth one. Let's move it on up. The one above C. The one above C form. That one right there. The next one up is, wait a minute. We're targeting this root, right? Targeting that root. What shape, what form starts with that root? Right, A form. So now we're doing a G, C, D, and we're starting on the A form. Now the previous 4 was in the E form, right? And what's above the E form? The D form, right? Now, we're already sitting there right on the root of D, so we know it's the E form. Let me write that down before I forget. A form, D form, E form. Pretty cool. Let's try it out a little. The sound of pentatonics. D, E, and a C chord in the D form. And then a D chord in the E form, and then a G in the A form. Wait, D form, oh, C in the D form. And a D in the E form. And then an A form. That way you don't have to, like when you're soloing, stay on the key or the root of the, focus on the root of the key. And you know what the cool thing is? You can see the chords right here. Watch this. We just played a G in the A form, right? And right there it is. There's the G chord in the A form. Right? And then would we play a C in the D form, right? Well, we know that this is the C note. And so that means that we know that this with the E form, we know that this is the C2 because that's the root. Because we know that's the E form. Because we can put the E form there, we know where the root is. Right there's the root, right there. So I can put this on the root. Bam. We'll throw in this note because it just looks good. We bump this up to here. All right. Bump that up to there, and there you go. There's your root, and there's your root in the D form. Right? The D form. What is it? Well, we know this is the 12th fret, so we know that that's a C. So this is a C. We know this is octave from this E form right here, so we know that that's a C because we know the first string. We know the first string, right? I know the notes on the first string. So if I go like that, and I do my little root targeting thing right there, I know that that is the beginning of the D form. So there's the 4. The 5, what's the 5? The chord D, of course, because we're playing G, C, D progression, a 1, 4, 5 in the key of G. So we know that the 10th fret is the note D, right? Right here, D on both sides. On both sides, man, it's the same. Makes it easy, huh? So if the root is right there, we know that the shape of the chord is the E form, right? E form. And right there it is. Isn't it interesting that all of these forms fit the dots? These are just 7 notes in the key of G. These 7 notes, from G to F sharp, that's all these dots are. But yet these chord forms change, and you stick with this pattern that we're writing down right here. You stick with that no matter what key you're in, it stays exactly the same. That's the beauty of it. So now you could play a progression way up high. If you're looking for a new chord or a change, you can jump up here and do the same progression in 5 different places. How cool is that? Right. Okay, you ready for number 5? Number 5, last one. Now, let me just point out the 5 pentatonics. Right? Right? There's 4, and then 5. Now, each one of those fit the same shape every time. E, number 1, D, C, A, and G. So, with that in mind, what's our first shape? G. Right, you got it. All right. How'd you know? Anyway, here we go. So let's make this G. Let's make this G shape. We know the G is on the 15th fret, right? And what we're going to do is make this shape here. There, and there, and there, and there. Now, if you can reach this note, that's cool. If not, you could get away with playing that one, but you really only have to play these 4. Now, if you can hammer on this one and just forget about those 2, and you could play these 3 right here and do that hammer on right there, now that works pretty good too. And then if you bar your little finger here and bend this note, a lot of people play out of this form. All right, so we got our root. It's in the G form. The next one is the chord C in. Whoa, you know what I just realized? We played the G chord in the G form. Isn't that cool? So if we're playing a G, C, D progression, what form do you think the C is going to be in? The C form. And the D form. Which you could play down here too. So let's do the pentatonics. Oh, first let's go like this. There's your G. There's your G. Now you're going to play your C. I just want you to see how these chord shapes are well inside. All of these dots, they start to make sense if you can see that chord. That's a C chord, right? And the next one is a D. This is going to slide up. You see that as 3 right there? That's going to slide up here. I'll put this one right here, like that. And then we're going to push this one over here and drop this one way down here. Bam. And there's your D, which is the same thing as if you're playing a D right here, right? It's just up an octave. So there's your D, your C, your G, your C, your D, 1, 4, 5 progression. It's the same down there. How about that? So now, wait, let me write that down. Okay, so I'm going to put this on Google Docs, and I'll have it like a link on one of these at the underneath this video somehow. I'm new at this, so I'm still learning all this. It may take me 3 or 4 days to figure that out. So anyway, let's start down here. Well, we could start with the one we just left off down here. Watch. We'll call this the number 5 progression, right? All right, now we'll go to the number 1 progression, which is the E form, the A form, the C form. Do it again, messed that up. That's the E form, the A form, and the C form. So let's listen to the pentatonic change. Then we'll go down in the A form. Then we go up in the C form. And then we end with the E form on the first position. It's nice getting that when you're playing single notes and you can hear the chord change. So here, this is a nice little exercise. Go up in 1, down in the 4, up in the 5, and down in the 1. Now the next one will be, we're on the E form. So when you're playing the E form, you target what that little note, that little finger's on the root. You know that. So you target that, and you know it's the D form, right? So after the D, you do the G form, then the A form, A form. G to C to D and back to G, and then we do a G to C to D to G, and then we do a G to C to D and back to G, and then we'll do a G to C to D and back to G, then we do a G to C to D to G, and then we do a G to C to D, then we're back to G. Let me see, wait a minute, where was I? Okay. Let's do the pentatonics. That would be in the A form. We're going up to the G form. Let's do that again. was fun. I don't know what else I got to show you here. I think I had something, but I am going to go over this. I'll try to post this. Let me see what else I have. Make sure I don't have. I'm missing something. See if I'm missing something here. Oh, remember that first piece of paper? The guy that put this, and I forget your name. I could look your name up, but I don't really want to. I wouldn't say your name anyway. Okay. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. This is the piece of paper that started it all. And what I did was I chopped out these out of this and put them on this. And that because I want you to notice something. All right? I want you to notice something. Let's see if I can move that in. Okay? Because he's got, okay, if you look here, he says the 7 modes, right? And he lists the 7 modes: Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Local. But after what I just explained to you, I want you to look at something, and I know you're going to be able to see it. Here's the 5 forms, right? E, D, most people call it caged, but I call it EDCAG. EDCAG. Look at the root. Okay, wait. I got to blow this up here. So I got to bring this over and bring it closer in. All right. Look at the root on this E. That's why I have them under the E. You see those roots right there? The white ones? Right there and there and there. These two are in the E form. It really doesn't matter what form it is, because as long as you stick with the 7 scale and you play from this note to that note, whatever root it is, well, he's got this, the E Phrygian is not going to be the same key as E Lydian. But if you take this note, the E note, and you write it on the note staff, that's what I was going to do. I didn't get around to it. What I wanted to do next is take each mode like this and then have actual notes and the spacing. That's the key. That's what makes it Lydian or Dorian. It's the space between, how far between the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 5 and the 6 and the 7. There's 7 different distances from the root. That's what a mode is. A mode is the distance of the note from the root of whatever scale you're playing. Well, the thing is, this covers that. If you look at this, if you look at this right here, and you start with the first scale, if you start with the number 1 and you chart the distance between these notes right here, then you've got the Ionian mode. If you write down the distance between these notes, starting with this is the root right here, then you're in the Dorian mode. If you start on this note, you're in the Phrygian mode. You have to start with the number 1. That's why they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because you're starting with the first note, you're in that mode. Because you have these 7 modes, or these 7 scales have a different distance from this root to this root, from root to root. Of course, they keep the same distance on the other side of the root, but the interesting thing here is, because these go up at an angle like this, you're not really seeing the way they play it, because most people teach to play straight down in position playing. And Mixolydian is the 5th degree, which is the 7th. Well, you can see if this is the root, here's your note, and there's your 3rd, right? And then there's your root, and then right here, this note here is your flat 7. So you can see it. But I like this. I like the 7 scale because there are 3 notes on every string. What else we got? That. Just make sure my black dot, my pink dot, and the C chord. Oh no, you know what this is? I didn't pull this apart. These are. Oh, I was going to do this. This is kind of cool. Watch. I'll do the caged. I'll set them up for the caged. So this will be last. Caged. Right? Bam. 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 And then the A. Bam. Aha, there you go. Caged. Okay, but I want you to just look at it's the same thing. You target your roots, and then when you target this one, you can visualize this one in the A form. Bam. You target this root, and you've got the G form. You target this root, you got the E form next. You target this root, you got the D. How easy is that? I just learned it starting from the E, but I don't think that was before the cage system back in the 1800s. Anyway, I think that's it. All right. I hope you had your guitar and you're doing these. If you want, take a snapshot, a screenshot or whatever. Maybe you can read that. Those are your 5 progressions. Now, here's the thing. You do the same thing with the minor progressions. We can go over that. I started out doing it with jazz progressions. 2-5-1, right? A 2-5-1, a minor 7, 2, to a dominant 7, which is cool. Knowing 5 dominant 7 arpeggios in 5 different places is a must know. It's so, it's nice. It's nice knowing that. As a matter of fact, I could do it for you. Like, this is like, here's a A minor. Here's a D9 to a G major 7. Right? So instead of pentatonics, though, we're going to do arpeggios, right? Right, so there's the first position. So then you go to the second. Right, that's number 2. Same 3 chords: A minor 7, D7, G major 7 arpeggio, right? So this would be the A minor actually in the G form. So the next one would be A minor in the E form, right? We just did that one. So now that we're going to do the A minor in the D form, which would be something like this, or this. That'd be a D7 to a G major 7. See, I took it from this to this, I learned it the jazz first, back in 1982, and then I applied it to regular pentatonics, and it's fun doing that. So there's this A minor 7, D7, G major 7. Right? Then that was A minor 7. Do an A minor right here, A minor 7. Now, actually, this is the C form, because here's A in the C form, right? But you flat the third right here. Here's the third. That gets flat. The root, the third, whatever that is, seventh, flat seventh. There you go. You could throw in this chord if you want. It's an E note. You don't have to. So A minor 7. The D7 is actually a 7 form in the E form. And then you do a G major 7 in the A form. And because you know what form it is and what you just did, you know what pentatonic goes over it. Right? Now the fifth one. The fifth one's really nice. A minor 7 to D7 to G major 7. And I love this arpeggio. Well, that's it. Hope you had as much fun as me. I don't see anybody leaving any comments, but probably waiting for me to leave. Anyway, you have a good time tonight. Happy playing. Have a good night. Shut her down.